We've gotten down to the group photo. I'm going to skip down and have Matt speak first, since I know he has to leave, and then we will go back up to our agenda.
Okay, thanks. So did you want me to talk about the Learn Working Group, or should I leave that?
If you were going to do the Learn Working Group, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, were you going to do something else on here too?
No, I actually don't have much to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought if I can give a short introduction, because Matt is essential for the Pixelsynth, the tool. If you don't mind, Matt.
Sure.
So
yeah,
we can,
we'll talk about that.
And there's other people of the group here too. So everybody just chime in if you want to. So just to give you a bit of an overview. So we have had 7 meetings this year only. And it's called the Sonification Working Group Learn, because it's about education, outreach, informal learning, different types of learning, using sonification in those kind of situations. And so this group has been looking at, and I think what has come out is to make it an easy, usable kind of medium, so that there are different kind of sonification tools out there, but you need to usually download things and install things. And so for a long time we've been looking at trying to make it very easy for educators or people working in the field or actually users themselves to sonify things on demand. And we've recently come across, well, actually Matt came across this one, I think. So we identified about 5 different tools, and then we had some very interesting discussions, and we looked at the potential of each of them, and Pixelsynth came out as the most promising, created by I can't remember her name. I should have written it down. Matt, you may know what, Olivia, I think. Olivia
Jack. She's a creative coach.
Yeah, and so we managed to get in touch with her, and she gave us permission and even encouragement to make it more accessible, because it's not made as an accessible tool. So that's what we've been working on, particularly Matt, and we've all been given feedback, and we're very keen on getting more feedback from any of you. So I'll put the link in there it is. Matt has put it in the chat. To check it out and give us suggestions. What we're trying to do is to develop lesson plans. We've also last year, I presented at a conference here in Australia, and others also consulted with colleagues. And what we found is that people need really ready-made plans and programs to be able to apply sonification for learning. You can't just leave it up to the individual. It's too much effort, and people themselves are not quite aware of what sonification is and what it can do. So we're not just reaching out to learners, but also to the people who are actually teaching the learners, may it be in formal education or informal outreach. And so we are trying to develop ideas and programs and lesson plans around this tool, keeping in mind, indeed, this overlap that has come out again, and we've had it in all our discussions, that on the one hand, we've got the scientific application of sonification, where you use it for data analysis and access to science and math, and as an accessible format. And on the other hand, you've got things that are appealing to everyone as well, in the area of music and art, all the different qualities that come with it, what is aesthetically beautiful or not, how are cultural differences influencing this perception, and being able to use sonification. You will need to be listening attentively. You need to be able to understand the different nuances in sound. So there's always this part that the listening part is essential, and that can go either way, to the scientific side or the more arty, musical kind of side. So we've made a lot of progress in the last few meetings, and our plan is for next year to go into breakout rooms and work on really creating these programs using existing lesson plans, because there are so many interesting lesson plans available from sonification projects that we can tie into, and then provide this somewhere on one of the websites, maybe pass to technology or the sonification YouTube channel, so that people can find all these resources together and grab what they need to give a lesson about the solar system or about music or whatever they're doing in the classroom or what they want to do for outreach. But I think it would be interesting if Matt could show us a little bit about the tool or tell us about it, how it works.
Sure, I'm not sure if I can share. Looks like I can share screen. Okay. Yeah, so it's an image-based sonification scheme. And the idea is it's supposed to be really quick and immediate. So you can either pick one of the images that are already preloaded or upload your own. It can even be an image of a bar chart or a line graph. They actually work pretty well if there's enough contrast. And it just does like the kind of simple thing where it scans from left to right and maps light near the top of the image to higher pitched sound. So it's an inverse spectrogram. I'm not sure if I've enabled sound for this, but what it looks like at least, or can everyone?
Did not get your sound.
Do that? Okay, you're not getting the sound, okay.
Yeah. And you might want to give just a little bit more description of the of interface, what we're seeing on this page.
Yeah, sorry about that. So on the first page shows so it's web-based is the one key thing. And when you load it up, there's an image of a picture of the center of the Milky Way taken in X-ray. And when you press play, a vertical line scans from left to right across the image. And then you can control things like which musical scale it's being mapped to, which note it starts on, how many notes you're using. And then you can choose from a bunch of default images, which we're going to have to fill out once we know our activity, or you can upload your own image. And you can also change the brightness and contrast of the image to make the features more audible in sound, because it works best when you have a dark background and brighter features, because the bright things are the things you hear with this mapping.
So Matt, if you stop sharing and reshare, you should be and tell it you want to share the system sound. Okay. We should be able to hear this.
Let's go for it. Okay, so I'll press play.
And we're not seeing that site right now.
Oh, interesting. Okay, do one more time. I didn't get the right.
Okay, we were supposed to be listening anyway.
Is there sound now? So you can adjust the contrast, brightness, comes around again. Change the harmony. Notes. And yeah, there's a few other like completely different defaults in there. This is like a weird whooshing pattern. A bunch of wavy lines, looks like fingerprints. So I think it actually started as like a synthesis tool just to make cool sounds with images, but we figured we can also use it for educational purposes to make images more accessible and to have fun learning about a bit about music, a bit about imagery, and how to create sound from other types of data.
Yeah, and also by combining it with tactile learning tools as well. So that would probably already give a lot more options for accessibility of what you're actually, what is shown in the on the image. Yeah, that you can feel it and you can hear it.
Yeah, so Matt has as he went through that other image, did you could hear in between time where he was changing some of the parameters for scale, the start note, the start octave, the number of notes. So he was adjusting some of those on the fly, and you could really hear those. So this is really worth playing with and getting some, getting a handle on this. Now, so question for you guys, you said there were some accessibility issues. Are you able to navigate that control panel using screen readers or not?
It hasn't been fully tested yet, but all of the functions are now accessible through keyboard commands. So that's one thing. There's a how it works button in the top left. So I made a keyboard command for everything. So P is play, C is increase contrast, things like that. And then I have tried tabbing through the menu to make your selection of the start note and number of notes. So that does appear to work through that, but we still have to test it on a screen reader.
Yeah, it's quite accessible already, I think, but we need people to try it out and come up with other ideas for adjusting things like the brightness and the contrast. But it worked quite well, I think. And as Matt said already, we tried it out with some images of a bar chart, for instance, and then you can really identify a pattern in the chart. You can hear what the pattern is, where there's a peak somewhere, and so it can also be used for more more the analytical kind of way of using sonification as well.
This looks really very interesting. Do we have other questions? Just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question. I see Adrian's hands up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment two comments. One is Matt has put a really lot of work into this, and he just did it because he thought it was really cool. So I think we all owe him big applause for just being passionate and making this happen. It was over a period of months, and it's been nice to see how this has evolved. And now I forget what my other comment was, but the Learn group, from the beginning, we've talked a lot about wanting to have something hands-on and something that students and at really any age, we're focusing kind of on middle schoolers, but really any students, adult learners, educators, informal and formal, can have access to. And the idea of this tool is to really help develop the next generation of sonifiers. So we're all taking for granted that, yes, this is a field, this is a tool, but how do we get younger people aware that this exists as a way to learn, whether it's for accessibility or other reasons, and to give them that hands-on experience. So that's really kind of that, I think, the guiding philosophy behind everything that's going on, so that we'll all have more people aware of this and then getting that experience so that they can take it to the next level.
Thank you. Do we have other questions or comments?
This is Katie. I am definitely very eager to try this out. How would you like people to submit feedback to you?
You could just email me directly. I'll put my email in this thread.
Great.
Works for me if it's like a development thing, or any kind of feedback you can send to me. Maybe that's
cool. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you've got special ideas about lesson plans or resources or things you want to share with the education the Learn group, you can send that to me as well. Or doesn't matter. We'll share anything that comes in, and we'll talk about it. And welcome to join our group too if you're interested in this area and want to contribute actively to making this more usable by everyone. Then please join us, and the more the merrier.
And I would also add that we sometimes tend to be sort of astronomy heavy in sonification conversations. So it's nice that there are members on the chat today that that's not their specialization. And I think if we can figure out ways to sort of spread the word among more people in other disciplines, obviously this itself is a very interdisciplinary type of field, or many fields coming together, but trying to figure out how do we encourage people in other fields to be interested in sonification. I think that would be very worthwhile as well. So as Matt said, you can upload other files. So it would be interesting to figure out what other things could be uploaded from other fields, and then how people in those fields might use them.
Thanks. And I would also remind everyone that if you're new, and I'll put these in the meeting minutes as well, that the SWC at glasseducation.org is our mailing address. That will send out to everybody in the group, and anybody who does want to have their own CSV version of the group list, that I can send you to. So if you want to make your own personal contact list, I can send you a Google file or a CSV file for that. All right. Any other questions, comments, or anything else to say about Learn or the tools you've seen so far? Okay. So the Learn group has been very active. I would strongly recommend that you reach out to Fia if you want to be part of that group. And she does send out the meeting minutes and invitations via the SWC email every time they meet. So thanks, James, for adding information on the agenda. And I put in the link for the YouTube channel on the agenda, meeting minutes as well. So next up, we want to touch base with Audible Universe. So Chris, we'll start with Chris.
Yeah, well, yeah, Anita didn't show up. Maybe she got waylaid. I know she was traveling today. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, back in end of August, September now, we held a workshop online, of course, called Audible Universe, where we had 55 people came together to talk about sonification in the astronomy domain. But we brought together people from the sort of expertise of sound perception, sound design, astronomers interested in sonification, several of the people who are here, to kind of consolidate where we're at now, draw expertise and knowledge from these other domains, and then sort of think about next steps. One thing that's worth mentioning maybe is we've been in the background, we've been trying to collate every single example that exists of sonification in astronomy. And there's, maybe I can share a screen. There's this nice archive, which isn't just for astronomy, it's for all sonification projects, which is sonification.design. I'm showing it on the screen, but there's not much to see really. But here, this is sort of a database that every sonification project that exists, the goal is to have it on there. This is run by Sarah Lenzi. And we've been adding all of the astronomy ones that we know of. So if you look in, you can search by topic. And if you go to physical sciences, this is where all the astronomy ones exist. So if you think we've missed anything and you know of ones, you can go on there and see if we've missed them. And the reason we're doing that, and this is off the back of this workshop, is we're trying to write a review, which has been led by Anita Zanella, who's usually joins us on these chats, to sort of consolidate everything we know that's been done so far, and then maybe make some sort of future perspectives of where we might go forward. And a couple of the sort of topics that we discussed quite heavily, one was evaluation, and the sort of a message that came out, there was a lack of, let's say, sort of robust or rigorous or comprehensive evaluation of the sonification projects to date, in terms of, are they achieving the goals that they set out to achieve? How are they being perceived by the target audience? So for example, if their goal is accessibility, do we have sort of demonstrable proof that these tools are reaching the target audience and maybe changing the aspirations or the knowledge of the BBI community? So this was talked about a lot. And so in these sort of set of articles we're writing, we're trying to make some recommendations there. And then we touched upon the design, which we briefly mentioned today, about depending on the application of the sonification, whether it's sort of art and inspiration, you might be taking a different approach. Maybe you're more interested in aesthetics and less interested in sort of accurate mapping. Or if you're more interested in sort of data analysis with sonification, then maybe you need to take slightly different approaches. So we discussed all of these topics. And as I mentioned, there's a series of articles that we're writing. One is a meeting report, which should come out any day now. And I can share that through the chat, through the email once it's out. That's sort of a summary of everything we discussed. There's a Q&A article that's where we interviewed some BVI astronomers about accessibility issues and how sonification could overcome that in the astronomy domain. There'll be a review article, which I mentioned, and also what's called a perspective article. And this is being written by people who work in sound design and sound perception. And they're going to give their perspective of how they think we're doing as astronomers in these sonification projects. So there were other people at the meeting here, and Kate was one of the organizers. So maybe I can see if you want to add anything.
I would just say again that I thought the meeting was really well done, and there was a lot of good discussion in areas that we haven't explored before. So the cultural aspects of how we perceive sound was really new to me, and I'm entirely enamored with it. I think it's very cool, and just the depth to its sound really could be utilized if we get enough people together with different expertise to open up this area of data analysis and art. So